As I sit here surrounded by the memories of a lifetime, I'm reminded of the wise words my grandmother Aurora would often share. The greatest mysteries are not those hidden in the world, but in the hearts of those we love. For as long as I can remember, Aurora was an open book, her laughter as warm as the sun, her blue eyes sparkling like a summer sky, and her hugs capable of healing any pain. She was the matriarch of our family, the keeper of stories, and the embodiment of love and wisdom. Yet, as I stand at the threshold of sharing her story, I'm about to reveal a truth that shatters my perception of her and myself. It was on a crisp autumn day, as the leaves danced outside my window, that I received the news of Aurora's passing. The world seemed to pause, and I felt the weight of grief settle upon me. In the days that followed, as I helped sort through her belongings, I stumbled upon an old wooden box tucked away in a corner of her attic. The box itself was unassuming, its surface worn smooth by the touch of generations. But as I lifted the lid, a faint scent of lavender wafted out, carrying with it whispers of the past. Nestled within the box, a diary lay waiting, its leather cover creased and worn, pages yellowed with age. The moment I opened that diary, my world shifted. The woman I thought I knew, the woman I loved and admired, was suddenly a stranger. The pages revealed a life I had never imagined. A life of secret loves, hidden struggles, and choices that defied the conventions of her time. As I read on, the lines between past and present blurred, and I realized that Aurora's story was far more complex, far more beautiful, and far more heartbreaking than I could have ever fancied. Over the coming hours, I'll share with you the secrets of Aurora's extraordinary life. A life marked by forbidden love, sacrifice, and a legacy that spans generations. You'll journey with me through the turmoil of history, the beauty of hidden treasures, and the enduring power of love. As we embark on this journey, I invite you to hold close the memories of your own loved ones, for in Aurora's story, you may find echoes of your own, and perhaps like me, you'll discover that even the most seemingly ordinary lives are, in fact, extraordinary. In the late 1930s, nestled in the heart of America, lay the small town of Willow Creek, a place where time seemed to stand still. The air was sweet with the scent of blooming wildflowers, and the sky was a brilliant blue that seemed to stretch on forever. It was here, in this idyllic setting, that a young Aurora grew up, her life a gentle rhythm of nature's dictates. Mornings began before dawn, with the family heading out to the fields, where the dew-kissed grass sparkled like diamonds under the rising sun. The days were filled with the simple joys of farm life, tending to the crops, helping with the animals, and the quiet evenings spent under starry skies, where the world seemed to belong to them alone. Aurora, with her bright blue eyes and hair as golden as the wheat fields, was a dreamer. She found solace in the pages of her beloved books, escaping into worlds beyond the rolling hills of Willow Creek. Her imagination was her constant companion, and she often wandered through the fields and forests, lost in thought, her feet bare and her heart full of wonder. She was a young woman with a deep love for the land, for her family, and for the simple pleasures of life. The family was close-knit, bound together by love and hard work. Her parents, John and Elizabeth, were the epitome of hard-working farm folk, their hands roughened by the earth but their hearts full of kindness. Thomas, Aurora's older brother, was a young man with a passion for flying, spending hours poring over books on aviation, his eyes shining with a dream that seemed as far-reaching as the sky itself. And then there was Lily, the youngest, a poetic soul with a way with words, seeing the world through a lens of beauty and magic. Daily life in Willow Creek was a routine dictated by nature: planting, harvesting, school, and the endless cycle of chores. Yet, within this simplicity there was a deep contentment. Evenings were spent gathered around the radio, listening to news of a world beyond their own, or sitting on the porch, watching the stars twinkle to life. It was a peaceful existence, one that seemed untouched by the turmoil brewing beyond their little corner of the world. But amidst this serene backdrop, Aurora felt an undercurrent of restlessness, a sense of yearning for something more. It wasn't dissatisfaction exactly, for she loved her life, her family, and her home, but a feeling that there was a world beyond the horizon, a world she longed to explore, to understand, and to be a part of. This feeling was subtle, a whisper in the wind, but it was there, a quiet foreshadowing of the path her life would eventually take. As the seasons passed, Aurora's inner conflict grew, a gentle stirring that hinted at the challenges and choices to come. She didn't know what the future held, but she felt its presence, a shadow on the horizon, beckoning her towards a journey of self-discovery and transformation. And though she couldn't see it yet, this journey would lead her down a path of love, sacrifice, and hidden legacies, one that would leave an indelible mark on the lives of those she loved. As the seasons changed in Willow Creek, the air grew thick with an undercurrent of unease. News of the war in Europe seeped into our small town, like the chill of autumn into the bones of the earth. At first it seemed a distant rumble, a murmur of troubles that wouldn't touch our lives. Thomas, ever the adventurer, would speak of the excitement, the possibility of serving a greater cause. His eyes would light up with a fire that both thrilled and worried me. My parents, on the other hand, were consumed by concern. They'd gather around the radio, their faces bathed in the soft glow of the dial, listening to broadcasts that spoke of Nazi aggression and the threat of war spreading across the globe. I recall those evenings huddled with my family, feeling the weight of uncertainty settle over us like a shroud. My heart began to ache with a dawning realization. The world was not as safe just as I'd believed. The newsreels and radio broadcasts painted a picture of a world unraveling, and I couldn't help but wonder if our peaceful life in Willow Creek was but a fragile bubble, poised to burst. My romantic dreams, once so vivid and full of promise, now seemed naive, even frivolous, in the face of such brutal reality. It was during this time, as the shadows of war lengthened, that I first saw him, Elias, a young man in a military uniform, his eyes piercing and his presence both commanding and mysterious. He arrived in town one evening as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the main street. There was something about him that drew me in, a sense of difference, of secrets kept and stories untold. Our eyes met, and for a moment the world seemed to hold its breath. Elias was not like the other boys in Willow Creek. There was an air of quiet confidence about him, a sense of purpose that I found both intriguing and intimidating. As we began to talk, I sensed that he was hiding something, that his presence in our town was not mere coincidence. The way he looked at me with a deep and abiding interest made my heart flutter, but it also stirred a sense of unease. I couldn't shake the feeling that his arrival marked the beginning of something significant, something that would change the course of my life forever. Little did I know Elias carried with him a secret mission, one that would entwine our lives with the threads of war and danger. As I looked into his eyes, I felt the stirrings of a forbidden love, one that would challenge everything I thought I knew about the world and myself. The tranquility of our small town was about to be shattered, and I was about to be drawn into a web of intrigue, where love and war would become perilously intertwined. As the days turned into weeks, and the weeks into months, Aurora and Elias's clandestine meetings became more frequent, more urgent. They'd steal away to the old barn on the outskirts of town, or meet in the sunflower field, where the tall stalks provided a natural screen from prying eyes. Their love blossomed in these secret moments, a beacon of hope in a world torn apart by war. Aurora's heart swelled with every touch, every whispered promise. Elias, too, found solace in her arms, a respite from the danger that pursued him. But as their bond deepened, so did the shadows that threatened to tear them apart. Elias knew he couldn't keep his true identity hidden forever. He had to trust Aurora with the truth. One evening, as they sat together on the edge of the sunflower field, watching the stars twinkle to life, Elias took Aurora's hand and began to tell his story. He revealed himself to be a German scientist, a deserter from the Reich, who had been sent to Willow Creek to find a powerful encryption device, the artifact. This device, if it fell into the wrong hands, could change the course of the war. Aurora listened, her mind reeling with the weight of Elias's words. She felt the fear and the danger closing in around them, but she also felt her love for Elias growing stronger. She knew she had to help him no matter the cost. As they navigated the treacherous landscape of their love, Nazi agents began to appear in Willow Creek, disguised as civilians. They'd blend in seamlessly, their eyes scanning the crowds for any sign of Elias or the artifact. The town, once a haven of peace, was now a hotbed of tension and paranoia. Aurora noticed the strange looks, the suspicious glances. She saw the way Elias was watched, the way his movements were tracked. She knew they had to be careful, but she also knew they couldn't hide forever. It was then that Elias revealed the artifact's location, hidden in a secret, ancient labyrinth beneath the town's old church. This labyrinth, left by Elias's mentor, a brilliant clockmaker, held the key to their survival. Aurora's transformation was swift and profound. She shifted from a passive observer to an active participant in Elias's mission. She showed a growing courage, a resourcefulness that surprised even herself. But with this newfound determination came an internal conflict, to protect her love, or to safeguard her family's safety. The diary became Aurora's sole confidant, a place where she recorded her fears, her forbidden love, and her growing determination. She wrote of the labyrinth, of the artifact, of the danger that loomed over them. She wrote of Elias, of her love for him, and of the sacrifices she'd make to save him. As the stakes rose, so did the tension. The air was thick with anticipation, heavy with the weight of their choices. Aurora and Elias knew they were playing with fire, but they also knew they couldn't turn back. Their love had become a flame that burned bright and true, a beacon in the darkness. The diary entries grew more urgent, more desperate. Aurora's words poured out onto the pages, a testament to her love, to her fear, and to her determination. She knew that their fate was sealed, that their choices would have consequences that would last a lifetime. And yet, even in the face of danger, even in the shadow of war, their love endured. It was a love that would be tested, a love that would be tried by fire. But it was also a love that would ultimately prevail, a love that would change the course of their lives forever. As I reflect on Grandma Aurora's story, I find myself at the threshold of a pivotal moment, one that would forever alter the course of her life. It was as if the very fabric of fate had woven their lives together, only to test the strength of their love against the backdrop of war and secrecy. The air was heavy with anticipation as Aurora and Elias navigated the ancient, underground labyrinth, their hearts pounding in unison with every step. The clockmaker's ingenious traps and puzzles lay before them, a challenge to their resolve and ingenuity. With each solved riddle, the tension mounted, the silence broken only by the sound of dripping water and their labored breathing. Finally, after what seemed like an eternity, they stumbled upon the hidden chamber, and within it, the artifact. The device, a marvel of cryptography, lay before them, its significance a solemn reminder of the burden they now carried. But their triumph was short-lived. The sound of footsteps, heavy and deliberate, echoed through the passages, growing louder with each passing moment. Nazi agents, with their cold, calculating eyes, had discovered their hideout. A sense of dread washed over Aurora as Elias's grip on her hand tightened, his eyes locking onto hers with a mix of fear and determination. The ensuing confrontation was a blur of chaos and desperation. Gunshots rang out, and the labyrinthine passages seemed to close in around them. Aurora's knowledge of the labyrinth proved invaluable as she led Elias through the winding tunnels, dodging and weaving between the enemy. But despite their valiant efforts, they were cornered, the agents closing in with an implacable resolve. It was then that Elias made the ultimate sacrifice. Wounded and outnumbered, he knew his time was running out. With a heavy heart, he entrusted the artifact to Aurora, his voice barely above a whisper as he urged her to escape, to carry on their mission. His eyes, filled with a deep sadness, met hers, and in that moment, Aurora understood the magnitude of his love and sacrifice. As she fled, the artifact clutched tightly in her hand. Aurora's heart felt like it was shattering into a million pieces. The weight of Elias's loss was crushing, her senses reeling from the pain and despair. Yet, amidst the turmoil, a spark within her ignited, a flame of determination that would carry her through the darkest of times. The diary, once a secret confidant, now became a testament to their love, a reminder of the promise she had made to Elias. As she wrote, her words poured out like tears, a cathartic release of the emotions that had been building up inside her. The entries, once a private reflection, would now serve as a beacon, guiding her through the trials that lay ahead. In that moment, Aurora knew that she had been forever changed. The love they shared had been a brief, shining moment, but its impact would resonate throughout her life. The sacrifice Elias made had given her a new purpose, a mission to carry on his legacy, and to ensure that their love would not be in vain. As she emerged from the labyrinth, Aurora took her first steps into a new chapter, one marked by loss, but also by the enduring power of love and sacrifice. As I emerged from the labyrinth, the night air enveloped me like a damp shroud, chilling me to the bone. The rain-soaked earth squelched beneath my feet as I stumbled forward, my heart heavy with a grief that threatened to consume me. The artifact, now a tangible connection to Elias, felt like a cold metallic weight in my hands. I couldn't shake the image of his lifeless eyes, the way his body crumpled against the stone floor. My mind reeled, struggling to comprehend the magnitude of his sacrifice. The walk home was a blur, my feet carrying me on autopilot through the darkness. I felt like a ghost haunting the streets of Willow Creek, invisible and alone. My family, once a source of comfort, now seemed like a distant memory, a reminder of a life I'd left behind. As I pushed open the creaky door, a warm glow of candlelight spilled out, but I couldn't muster a smile. My parents and siblings looked up, concern etched on their faces, but I couldn't meet their gaze. "Aurora, what's wrong?" my mother asked, her voice laced with worry. I forced a weak smile, the words catching in my throat. I just needed some air. I'm fine." The lie felt like a betrayal, but I couldn't bear to share the truth. As I retreated to my room, the diary became my sole confidant, a repository for the anguish and sorrow I couldn't express aloud. I poured my heart onto its pages, the words flowing like tears. Elias's sacrifice, the weight of the artifact, and the promise I'd made to him. It all swirled together in a melancholy haze. Days passed and I maintained the charade, attending family meals and pretending to be the girl I once was. But the facade crumbled in the silence of my room, where I'd sit by candlelight, poring over Elias's notes and studying the artifact. The diary entries became a lifeline, a reminder of the mission I'd undertaken. I began to frequent the local library, scouring books on cryptography and ancient history, driven by a nascent determination to unravel the mysteries of the artifact. The librarian, Mrs. Jenkins, looked up from her desk, a kind smile on her face. "Aurora dear, you seem a bit distracted lately. Is everything all right?" I hesitated, unsure how much to reveal, but her gentle tone put me at ease. "I'm just trying to understand something," I said, my voice barely above a whisper. "A piece of history, I suppose." Her eyes sparkled with curiosity, but she nodded, returning to her work. I lost myself in the musty pages of old books, the words and symbols blurring together as I searched for answers. The artifact, once a symbol of loss, had become a beacon, guiding me toward a purpose I couldn't yet fully grasp. And though Elias was gone, his legacy lived on through me, a reminder that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way forward, no matter how faint the light may seem. As I reflect on the journey of Grandma Aurora, I am reminded of the transformative power of love, sacrifice, and determination. After leaving Willow Creek, Aurora found herself in a bustling metropolis, surrounded by the cacophony of city life. She settled into a modest apartment, a far cry from the serene landscapes of her childhood. Yet, it was here that she began to forge a new path, driven by the memories of Elias and the weight of the artifact. Aurora immersed herself in research, poring over dusty tomes in libraries and archives, seeking to unravel the mysteries of the device. Elias's diary became her constant companion, guiding her through the labyrinth of cryptic clues and historical references. She consulted experts discreetly, careful not to arouse suspicion, as she slowly began to grasp the true extent of the artifact's power. It was more than a simple encryption device. It was a key to deciphering enemy codes, predicting strategic movements, and potentially altering the course of the war. As Aurora delved deeper into her mission, she underwent a remarkable transformation. She developed skills in observation, discretion, and counterintelligence, becoming a self-taught agent driven by necessity and her promise to Elias. I recall her meticulously deciphering a coded message, her hands moving with a newfound confidence as she uncovered a vital piece of information. In a crowded train station, she subtly evaded surveillance, her eyes scanning the crowd with a practiced air of nonchalance. These moments became her reality, a testament to her growth from a grieving young woman into a resourceful and capable individual. Aurora's days blended into a blur of study and vigilance, as she navigated the treacherous landscape of her secret life. Solitude was her constant companion, and the emotional toll of her journey was evident in the lines etched on her face. Yet her determination remained unwavering, fueled by the memory of Elias and the importance of her mission. She knew that every step she took, every risk she assumed, brought her closer to realizing the artifact's potential. But danger was ever present, a shadow lurking in the corners of her world. Nazi agents continued to search for the artifact, their presence a constant reminder of the risks Aurora faced. I remember a particularly tense moment when she identified a suspicious individual, their eyes locking in a fleeting moment of mutual awareness. Aurora's heart quickened, but she remained calm, her training and instincts guiding her as she melted into the crowd, the would-be pursuer left grasping at air. In these moments of heightened tension, Aurora's growth as a spy and a woman became clear. She had evolved from a sheltered young woman into a guardian of secrets, driven by a sense of purpose and duty. The artifact, once a symbol of loss, had become a beacon, illuminating a path that wound through danger and uncertainty, yet remained steadfastly hopeful. As we follow Aurora's journey, we are reminded that even in the darkest of times, the human spirit can find a way to persevere, to adapt and to overcome. As the war finally drew to a close, Aurora felt a deep sense of relief wash over her. The weight of the artifact, once a burden, now seemed to lift, allowing her to breathe a little easier. She had done it. She had contributed to the Allied forces in a way that had made a difference. The memories of Elias, of his sacrifice, and of the countless nights spent transmitting crucial intelligence, still lingered, but they no longer haunted her. Aurora's role in the war effort had been that of a silent guardian, a behind-the-scenes architect of strategic victories. She had worked tirelessly, using the artifact to decode enemy communications, frustrating their plans at every turn. The satisfaction of having played a part in shaping the course of history was a quiet one, but it was hers, and she held on to it tightly. As peace began to settle over the world, Aurora knew it was time for a new beginning. She left the city, the noise, and the chaos behind, seeking a simpler life in a place that reminded her of her childhood. Willow Creek, with its rolling hills and familiar streets, beckoned her back. The town too had changed, but in Aurora's eyes, it remained a sanctuary. She dedicated herself to helping others, using her experiences to support war-affected families, to educate young minds, and to build a stronger community. The artifact, once a symbol of loss and sacrifice, now became a cherished reminder of Elias and the journey they had shared. She placed it carefully in a music box, an heirloom that would one day tell her own story to her grandchildren. Years passed and Aurora grew into the wise, loving grandmother the narrator knew. Her eyes, once bright with the fire of youth, now shone with a warm, gentle light. Her laughter was a soothing melody, her wisdom a guiding star for those who sought her counsel. The narrator, looking back, began to understand that Aurora's seemingly simple life had been built upon extraordinary experiences and profound sacrifices. As the narrator sat with Grandma Aurora in her garden, watching children play among the flowers, she realized that the diary had revealed more than just a story. It had unveiled a soul. Aurora's past was a part of her, but it no longer defined her present struggles. Instead, it had shaped her into a beacon of hope, a testament to the enduring power of love and sacrifice. In those quiet moments as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the garden, the narrator knew that she had been given a precious gift, a glimpse into the life of a woman who had lived, loved, and lost, but had ultimately found peace. And as she closed the diary, now a tangible connection to the past, she felt a deep sense of gratitude for the story of Grandma Aurora, a story that would stay with her forever. As I sit here surrounded by the memories of a lifetime, I find myself reflecting on the diary that changed everything. It's more than just a collection of pages filled with a bygone era. It's a map to my grandmother Aurora's soul. Reading her words, I feel like I'm unraveling the threads of a tapestry so intricately woven, so full of hidden patterns and colors that I had never noticed before. I recall the stories she used to tell me as a child, tales of fairies and heroes, of magic and bravery. At the time, I thought they were just simple fantasies, meant to entertain and distract. But now, I realize they were metaphors for her own extraordinary life. The fairies were the whispers of her conscience, guiding her through the darkest times. The heroes were the men and women she admired, who inspired her to stand up for what she believed in. And the magic? That was the resilience of the human spirit, the capacity to find hope in the most desperate of circumstances. Aurora's legacy isn't just about the artifact or the secrets she kept. It's about the silent strength she embodied, the wisdom she shared through her stories, and the unconditional love she showed to everyone around her. Her life was a testament to the complexity and beauty of the tapestry we call existence. Every thread, Every color, every knot and snag contributes to the masterpiece that is our story. As I look back on my own life, I see parallels between Aurora's struggles and triumphs and my own. The fears, the doubts, the moments of sheer courage. They're all there, echoing through the generations. And it's this realization that brings me peace, a deeper understanding of life and courage. The diary has become a personal treasure, a guide that reminds me that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way forward. Aurora's story teaches me that our hidden stories, the ones we keep locked away, are the keys to understanding ourselves and each other. They're the bridges that connect us across time and space, reminding us that we're not alone in our struggles or our triumphs. And it's this universal message that I want to share with you, to encourage you to discover your own hidden stories, to cherish them, and to share them with the world. In doing so, we'll find that our lives are not just a series of isolated events, but a rich tapestry of experiences, woven together by the threads of love, sacrifice, and resilience. And it's this tapestry that will inspire us to live more fully, to love more deeply, and to leave behind a legacy that will continue to inspire generations to come. As we come to the end of Grandma Aurora's remarkable story, we're reminded that life is a tapestry woven with threads of love, sacrifice, and resilience. Her journey, marked by unexpected twists and turns, teaches us that even in the darkest moments, there's always a way forward. With courage in her heart and the memory of Elias by her side, Aurora transformed her pain into purpose, leaving behind a legacy that continues to inspire. If this story has resonated with you, then its purpose has been fulfilled. It's a testament to the power of shared experiences and the connections that bind us. This story doesn't end here. It continues through you, in your own struggles and triumphs. As we close this chapter, I invite you to reflect on the lessons learned from Grandma Aurora's life. Her story encourages us to look inward, to uncover our own hidden strengths, and to cherish the love that surrounds us. To stay connected and to keep the conversation going, please leave a like on this video, subscribe to our channel for more stories that touch the heart, and share this with someone who might find solace and inspiration in Grandma Aurora's journey. As you move forward, carry with you the question: what secret do you think Grandma Aurora held dearest to her heart, and how can you apply the lessons of her story to your own life's journey? Share your thoughts in the comments below. In closing, remember that your story, like Grandma Aurora's, is one of hope, courage, and the enduring power of love. Keep writing your chapters with kindness, compassion, and the wisdom that you are stronger than you think. May Grandma Aurora's story be a beacon of light in your life, guiding you through life's complexities with grace and heart.